The news of Liam's death came on a Tuesday. Drowned, they said, pushed into the churning gray waters of the Atlantic. By the time the Coast Guard recovered him, the sea had already claimed most of his body. Ethan felt nothing, a hollow space where grief was supposed to be. Everyone knew they were rivals, two opposing forces in a silent, drawn-out war. He wore a black wool coat to the funeral and carried a bouquet of sunflowers, Liam's favorite. Their mutual friends parted for him, a silent acknowledgement of a history too complex for a funeral parlor. He placed the flowers beside the casket and stared at the black and white photograph until his eyes burned and tears welled up, an involuntary betrayal. After the service, Liam's executive assistant, a woman named Sarah, approached him. She asked if he had a moment. In a quiet lounge, Liam's legal team was waiting. They presented him with a thick binder of documents. A lawyer explained that, according to Mr. Wonjo's final will and testament, the vast majority of his personal assets were to be inherited by Ethan. The words created a roaring in his ears, a static that wiped his mind clean. He couldn't comprehend why Liam would do this. Numbly, he took the pen and signed where they indicated, his hand moving automatically. At the door, Sarah offered her congratulations. The word was so absurd, so jarring, that Ethan could only turn his head slowly to stare at her. The assistant added that Liam had left a message for him. "Don't be sad. I wish you a bright future." Ethan's mouth twisted into a bitter, humorless smile. Sad? Who said he was sad? Sleep offered no escape that night. He found himself in the living room, whispering to the framed photograph of his late grandmother on the mantelpiece. He told her that Liam was dead. His mind drifted back. He and his grandmother had always been a team of two. The summer he turned 18, he took a job with a high-end catering company to save for tuition. And through a twist of fate, his first assignment was a private party at the Wonjo penthouse. He remembered fumbling with a tray of champagne flutes, trying to look professional in the opulent space, when a voice called out to him. Liam was leaning against the sweeping staircase, a playful smirk on his lips. He'd asked if he should call him the new caterwaiter or the new stray kitten. The comment made Ethan's face flush with heat. Being seen so clearly by someone so effortlessly sophisticated stripped him of his composure. He tried to retreat into the background, but Liam stopped him, noting that he looked like he could use a steady paycheck. He offered him a job, something better. Through Liam's recommendation, Ethan started bartending at a chic speakeasy in Soho, a place where, he later learned, Liam was a silent partner. The staff treated him with a surprising degree of respect. When the summer ended, he had saved more than he'd ever hoped. The manager, winking, had told him to be sure and thank Mr. Wonjo properly. Ethan took the advice to heart. After starting his freshman year at NYU, he juggled classes with a tutoring job. With his first real paycheck, he went straight to a vintage shop and spent nearly all of it on a meticulously chosen gift. He managed to arrange a meeting with Liam, his heart pounding not just with gratitude, but with the intention of confessing the feelings that had taken root. On the appointed day, Liam, who was famously punctual, was late. When he finally arrived, Ethan held out the gift, taking a deep breath to steady himself. Before he could speak the words, Liam took the box without looking at him, his movements stiff and unnatural. He muttered something about having to go and left in a hurry. It was the first time Liam had ever been so dismissive. Ethan stood frozen, watching him disappear down the street. A moment later, another student, someone from Liam's circle, sauntered up to him. The boy looked him up and down with an arrogant sneer, remarking that he now understood what had been distracting Liam lately. He called it a charity case, and with a final, cutting remark that someone like Liam would never be interested in someone like him, he turned and followed after Liam. The hope in Ethan's chest curdled into a sour ache. From that day forward, he diligently erased himself from Liam's world. He deleted his number, left shared group chats, and altered his campus routes to avoid any possibility of an encounter. In time, the story of their brief connection was overwritten by the myth of their intense rivalry. Caressing the cool glass of his grandmother's picture frame, he murmured that if he had known how it would end, he would have settled for just being friends. A tear escaped and splattered on the glass. He wiped it away and, at some point, drifted into an exhausted, dreamless sleep. He was falling through an endless void when his eyes shot open. A bright light stung his vision, and a familiar, cruel voice pierced the air. The boy was saying that he should just give up, that someone like Liam would never be interested in him. Ethan slowly lowered his gaze to his hands. They were smooth, uncalloused. He looked up at the boy, who was now staring at him, confused by his sudden silence. Ethan managed to ask, his voice hoarse, if the year was 2035. The boy scoffed, asking what else it would be, before turning to leave. It was real. He was 18 again. Clarity washed over him. The inheritance, the unanswered questions, the weight of Liam's death. It had been too much. Now, with a second chance, he was determined to get an explanation. He hurried after the boy, and soon, he spotted Liam's retreating figure. Seeing that confident, living face sent a pang through him, and his eyes grew hot. This time, he vowed he would protect Liam, even if it meant being hated. He took a steadying breath and moved closer, watching as Liam waved away the other boy, who stomped his foot in frustration before leaving. Ethan was about to cross the street when a sleek convertible sports car screeched to a halt beside Liam. At the wheel was Julian, Liam's closest friend and a notorious playboy. Liam, to Ethan's shock, kicked the car's expensive tire. He was clutching the side of his face, his voice a furious hiss. He angrily demanded to know who had given Julian permission to hit his face, yelling that he was trying to win someone over with his looks. Ethan froze. Win someone over? Liam? Questions swirled in his mind until Julian's voice cut through his confusion. He asked Liam if the little freshman, Ethan, was really that superficial about appearances. Ethan's mind reeled. Me? In an instant, the pieces clicked into place. The only reason Liam had been so cold that day was because of a bruise. He then heard Liam's frustrated sigh, admitting it wasn't just that. He was also worried Ethan was too young and hadn't thought things through. An arrogant, self-serving excuse. If that was how Liam wanted to play it, then he wouldn't be polite anymore. The crosswalk light turned green. Ethan strode forward purposefully. He greeted both Liam and Julian, his voice even. Both men stiffened, surprised to see him there. Liam turned slightly, instinctively trying to hide the bruised side of his face. He asked Ethan why he hadn't gone home yet. Ethan met his gaze directly, his eyes flicking to the faint discoloration on his right cheek, a minor blemish that did little to detract from his sharp features. He then stated, his tone unwavering, that he needed the gift back. He claimed he'd made a mistake, that it was meant for someone else. The color drained from Liam's face. He knew the value of the vintage fountain pen inside the box. To think such a precious gift wasn't for him, the fury in his eyes was palpable. Julian nudged him with an elbow, whispering for him to just give it back. Forcing a smile, Liam reverted to his usual charming persona. He remarked on the exquisite pen, asking with pointed casualness what new friends Ethan had made. Ethan took the box, pretending not to understand the implication. He politely excused himself and walked away without a backward glance. From that moment on, the hunt was on. He would make Liam Wonjo chase him. He was a freshman and Liam was a second-year graduate student at the same university. To maximize his visibility, Ethan enrolled in an advanced economics seminar where Liam and his roommate, Alex, were graduate assistants. He deliberately arrived just as the lecture began, slipping into the empty seat right beside Liam in the front row, a space students usually avoided. Alex gave him a thumbs up for his boldness. Liam, trying to hide a smile behind his fist, told him not to worry. He soon understood why. The white-haired professor, halfway through a dense lecture, was pleased to see a student so close to the front and promptly called on the young man sitting next to the GA to answer a complex question. The topic was far beyond the scope of the syllabus. Ethan stood up, ready to bluff his way through, when he felt a gentle pressure in his palm. Liam was quietly whispering the correct answer. Ethan hesitated, and a low chuckle reached his ear. Liam assured him the professor was hard of hearing. His deep, steady voice was strangely calming, and Ethan felt a warmth creep up his neck. After class, Alex invited him to lunch. Out of the corner of his eye, Ethan saw Liam subtly turn his profile, feigning indifference. Ethan declined, explaining he had another class. A frown flickered across Liam's face. Ethan added that he was trying to pack his schedule now so he could free up time to work next semester. He didn't miss the shadow of something akin to pity in Liam's eyes. He smiled, promising to treat them next time and asking them to be generous with his grade. Give and take. That was the art of the pull. He didn't have to wait until next week. That evening, Liam found him outside the library, holding a thermos of hot, savory soup. Liam explained that he'd gotten a copy of Ethan's schedule from a friend and worried he wasn't eating properly. It was just like him, appearing at the most vulnerable moments with a gesture of disarming kindness. Yet Ethan knew there was a line Liam was afraid to cross. Whether he feared Ethan was just playing, or that he would eventually leave him, the hesitation was always there. This kind of indecisive man deserved to be punished. Ethan accepted the soup, sniffing dramatically. He thanked Liam but insisted he could take care of himself. Liam's brow furrowed when he heard the nasal sound, asking if he had a cold. Before Ethan could explain, Liam grabbed his wrist, then quickly let go, saying he would have some cold medicine sent over. The warmth from his touch lingered. Ethan agreed meekly. This time, he would accept all of Liam's kindness without offering any real reciprocation. He wanted to see how long Liam could hold out. His calculated blurring of boundaries brought them closer. Liam became a constant presence, texting to make sure he ate, bringing him snacks, and finding excuses to study together. The unspoken tension between them grew until, one day in the economics seminar, Alex teased that anyone who didn't know better would think they were dating. Liam, who was organizing a class roster, paused, his eyes lifting to gauge Ethan's reaction. Ethan smiled brightly and said he'd always thought of Liam as a wonderfully caring older brother. The smile on Liam's face froze. Alex coughed awkwardly and changed the subject, inviting Ethan on a weekend trip. Their dorm was planning to a mountain lodge in the Catskills for some hiking and relaxation. Ethan paused. By a strange coincidence, he had just been selected for a faculty-led botanical research trip to that very same mountain that weekend. Alex's eyes lit up, and he asked if it was the project sponsored by the Corwin Foundation. It was. Alex shot a subtle, triumphant look at Liam. He declared it was settled. Ethan could come find them when he was done with his research for the day. On Saturday, Ethan arrived with the university group at the sprawling mountain lodge. In the lobby, he saw Liam's group checking in. It was the same hotel. When Liam spotted him, he waved from across the lobby. As Ethan drew closer, he noticed the spa passes in Alex's hand bore both the hotel's logo and the Corwin foundations. Before he could connect the dots, Alex recognized one of Ethan's project partners, a student named Zhang, as someone from his hometown. He excitedly suggested he and Zhang room together to catch up. That left the question of where Ethan would stay. Alex grinned and pushed Liam forward, announcing he was loaning Ethan his caring older brother. He was still processing what had happened as he dragged his suitcase into the room. A single, enormous king-sized bed dominated the space. Liam, looking entirely too pleased with himself, asked which side he preferred. The hotel was supposedly fully booked, leaving them with this complimentary upgrade. Ethan swallowed hard and mumbled that the side by the window was fine. As Liam moved to help with his luggage, Ethan instinctively took a step back, saying he had to meet his project group. He fled the room, leaving Liam with a knowing smile. His heart was hammering against his ribs. In his past life, they had never been this close. He spent the day in the mountains, identifying and collecting plant specimens. Exhausted, he returned to the hotel under a canopy of stars. A text from Alex came in, asking if he was done and inviting him to room 1203 for some local snacks. He took the elevator up, hearing the sounds of laughter and loud conversation from down the hall. Alex pulled him into the bustling room, pressing a warm paper bag into his hands. Across the room, Liam was the center of attention, surrounded by friends, and didn't even glance his way. Ethan managed a thank you to Alex but declined to stay, saying he was tired. Back in his room, he had no appetite. He showered first. When he came out, Liam was there. He had reheated the snacks, telling Ethan they were quite good. After a terse acknowledgement, Ethan collapsed onto the bed while Liam went to take his own shower. He sighed in frustration. After a long day, seeing Liam so happy and at ease with everyone else felt unsettling. While Liam was in the bathroom, he quickly ate the snacks, then used the adjoining bathroom in Alex's room to brush his teeth. He was already under the covers, feigning sleep, when Liam emerged. A deep voice from above him asked who was in the photograph. Ethan sat up, blinking. The photo had fallen from his notebook. It was of him and Oliver, the visiting professor from Britain, a man with sandy hair, blue eyes, and delicate features. He explained who Oliver was, his voice filled with genuine admiration, saying how much he hoped to become a botanist of his caliber someday. Liam's gaze lingered on the photo, where Oliver's arm was casually draped around Ethan's shoulders. His jaw tightened. He asked if he could join Ethan on his survey the next day. In the dim light, Liam's handsome face was cast in shadow, making him look predatory. A shiver of apprehension went down Ethan's spine. He agreed, wished him a good night, and quickly pulled the covers over his head. Liam's soft laugh followed. "Good night, Ethan." As he drifted off, he caught the faint, familiar scent of jasmine, a fragrance he'd once told Liam helped him sleep. He vaguely thought the hotel had excellent taste. The next morning, Liam was up even earlier than he was, dressed in stylish and expensive hiking gear. He looked less like he was going on a botanical survey and more like he was heading to a photo shoot. Ethan expressed his concern that the hike would be long and tiring. Liam simply raised an eyebrow, took Ethan's hand, and pressed it against his firm abdomen. He flexed, asking if he wanted to test his stamina. Ethan snatched his hand back, his ears burning. On the bus to the trailhead, Liam was full of questions like a curious child. He asked about the names of trees, the reason for tapping mushrooms before picking them, the subtle differences between similar-looking plants. Ethan patiently explained about camphor trees, spore dispersal, and identifying ferns by the patterns on their leaves. Liam listened with rapt attention, his eyes shining. He told Ethan he was brilliant. Ethan, his ears warm, told Liam he needed to focus on his work, but would answer more questions on the way back. As the day wore on and the sky began to darken, Ethan remembered Liam. He turned and found him watching, his expression a mixture of fascination and pride. Just as he was about to speak, Oliver appeared, excitedly telling them in his charming British accent about a rare flower he'd discovered nearby. Liam's expression darkened. He pointed out that it was getting late. But seeing the conflict on Ethan's face, Liam relented with a sigh. Ethan shot him an apologetic smile and followed Oliver. It was a spectacular pink lady's slipper orchid, even more beautiful in the beam of their flashlights. On the bus ride back, Ethan chattered excitedly about the find, but Liam was unusually quiet. Ethan assumed he was just tired. That evening, just as he was preparing for bed, Liam stopped him. He asked if he wanted to try the private hot springs. This was it. This was the moment he had been working towards. He feigned a casual air and agreed. In the steam-filled private spa, Liam shed his clothes without hesitation. Ethan fumbled with the waistband of his shorts. Liam glanced over, chuckling that he wouldn't look, and slipped into the water. Taking a deep breath, Ethan followed. Liam offered him a drink from a bottle with a foreign label. His mind clouded with nerves, Ethan accepted. They made small talk, sipping the sweet, bubbly liquid. At some point, their arms brushed against each other in the water. The contact sent a jolt through him. Liam downed his glass, his Adam's apple bobbing. The alcohol must be taking effect. Suddenly, Ethan stood up and swayed dramatically, pretending to lose his balance. As planned, Liam caught him. Ethan looked up, his face flushed. He mumbled that his head was spinning. Liam's voice was a low rumble above him as he agreed Ethan was drunk. Feigning dizziness, Ethan leaned forward, his lips clumsily meeting Liam's. The moment they touched, he felt a pang of regret. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. But as he tried to pull away, Liam's hand tightened on the back of his neck, deepening the kiss, his tongue confidently parting Ethan's lips. The world dissolved into steam and the sound of bubbling water. When Liam finally released him, Ethan was breathless, his mind blank. He stared at the rippling water, unable to meet Liam's eyes. A soft chuckle broke the silence. Liam informed him that what they had been drinking was a non-alcoholic fruit soda. The mortification was so intense Ethan almost fainted for real. Liam gently tilted his chin up, his eyes dancing with amusement. He whispered that he was so happy. He confessed his fears, the 6-year age gap, his worry that Ethan's feelings were a temporary infatuation. But Ethan's persistent pursuit had given him his answer. He told Ethan he liked him very much and asked if he would be his boyfriend. Floored by his honesty, Ethan mumbled that he had already thought it all through. He liked him too. A fire lit in Liam's eyes, and he pulled him into another kiss. When it grew more intense, Ethan pushed back slightly, protesting that they shouldn't be doing this in the water. Liam pouted. Ethan, grasping for an excuse, said the steam was bad for his hair. That was apparently the magic word. Liam's expression changed instantly. He lifted Ethan out of the water in one smooth motion, declaring they were going to bed. On the drive back to the city in Liam's Range Rover, with Alex and Julian in the back, Ethan was nestled in the passenger seat, a plush cushion thoughtfully placed for him. He feigned sleep, listening to the low murmur of conversation. He heard Julian ask Liam if he'd sealed the deal. Liam glanced at him, a smile in his voice as he confirmed that he had. Alex then launched into a teasing tirade, exposing Liam's schemes. booking the entire lodge through his family's company, buying the local snacks and making Alex deliver them. Ethan cracked open an eye and met Liam's gaze in the rearview mirror. They both looked away quickly, hiding smiles. Looking at the passing scenery, Ethan felt a wave of affection so strong it was overwhelming. Back at school, Liam confessed that the Corwin Foundation was also one of his family's enterprises, but assured him the research project was completely legitimate. Ethan already knew. Their relationship fell into a comfortable rhythm of library dates and quiet evenings, undeclared but obvious to everyone. A few days later, a message from the private investigator he'd hired made his blood run cold. He had a lead on Liam's death from the past life, a connection to a major corporation in the city. This time, he would not let Liam walk into danger. He excused himself from the library and opened the file. The first line made him freeze. The chairman of the corporation in question was a man named Jensen. And according to the file, he had a biological connection to him. He was the chairman's son. The fake young master trope from novels was his actual life. The person who had pushed Liam into the ocean was almost certainly the man raised as the Jensen heir, Caleb. The PI's notes described Caleb as arrogant, paranoid, and ruthless. The motive was suddenly clear. In the previous timeline, Liam must have discovered Ethan's true parentage. Caleb had him killed to silence him. It didn't matter if Ethan wanted to be the heir or not. His very existence was a threat Caleb would eventually discover. He sent a message back to the investigator. He would be the bait. He returned to the library, where Liam was researching restaurants to take him to. He took Liam's hand and told him he wouldn't be able to have dinner with him in 2 days. He was going to visit his grandmother. This time, he'd gotten her to the doctor early. The cancer was stage 1, treatable. Liam had been the one to arrange for the top specialists. Liam buried his face in Ethan's neck, disappointed but understanding. Ethan stroked his hair, thinking that this time, it was his turn to protect Liam. As the investigator predicted, he was abducted shortly after leaving the hospital. He finally saw Caleb Jensen in person. Sallow skin, cruel, narrow eyes. Caleb toyed with a dagger, asking him to name his price to disappear. Ethan laughed, asking if the position of an heir could really be bought. Caleb's face darkened, the tip of the knife pressing against Ethan's cheek. He warned him he might not leave alive. When Caleb's thugs moved in, covering his head with a foul-smelling hood and tightening a rope around his neck, he heard the distant wail of sirens. The warehouse door burst open, and undercover officers swarmed in. Ethan pulled off the hood and smiled at the stunned Caleb, telling him he'd lost. Caleb screamed that it was impossible, that his parents would save him. Ethan gestured to the shadows, where 2 familiar, horrified faces watched. The trap had closed. But Liam was furious. The man who could never bear to ignore him gave him the silent treatment for 3 solid days. Desperate, Ethan consulted Alex, who sent him a link to a costume website with some truly outrageous suggestions. 2 days later, a package arrived. He let himself into the off-campus apartment Liam had bought after they got together. He sent Liam a text, then waited. Liam made him wait for half an hour. When he finally heard the key in the lock, he took a deep breath. The door opened. Liam froze, his eyes widening at the sight of Ethan kneeling on the floor, wearing a very revealing bunny costume. His breath hitched. He demanded to know who had taught him to do this. Ethan looked away, tugging on the hem of Liam's shirt. He asked, his voice barely a whisper, if his husband could stop being angry with him now. A vein throbbed in Liam's temple. He swept Ethan into his arms, his anger melting away. Later, as Liam's hands explored, he paused. His voice was husky. "Be a good boy and tell me," he murmured. "How did you get the tail in?" The next morning, Liam held him tightly, his voice choked with emotion. He told Ethan about a dream he'd had. As he spoke, Ethan's body went rigid. Liam recounted the entire first timeline, seeing it all from his own perspective after he had died. He remembered the pain of watching Ethan grieve, of seeing his loneliness. He remembered making a bargain with fate itself to give Ethan another chance. The feeling of loss and rediscovery was no longer Ethan's alone. Liam held him tighter. After a long silence, Ethan asked softly if he was really that obsessed with looks. Liam grumbled into his neck that Ethan's eyes had been glued to him from the first moment they met, which had been both thrilling and terrifying. He'd worried constantly that someone better looking would come along. He then admitted that he'd owned the bar where Ethan worked and had discreetly put any bartender he deemed a threat to his own good looks on paid leave. Ethan laughed, calling him a schemer. Liam breathed in his scent, murmuring that it was all Ethan's fault for being so superficial. Ethan just smiled. Liam could believe what he wanted. He had a lifetime to prove that it was never about the handsome face, but the passionate, fiercely devoted soul beneath it.